I never imagined my flight back for Bali would end with someone in handcuffs, but life's full of curveballs when you live in Pinecrest Meadows. After 3 blissful weeks away from home, man, more importantly, away from our neighborhood's infamous HOA president, I was ready to slip back in my routine. My tan was flawless, my mind was at peace, and my brand new coral suitcase was stuffed with souvenirs for friends. Little did I know that Suitcase would spark a scene straight out of a reality TV show. The moment I stepped into baggage claim, I spotted her. Linda Harper, the self-proclaimed queen of our suburban utopia. Even in the chaotic airport terminal, she stood out with her sleek brunette bob and that permanent scowl of judgment. For 3 years, she'd been my personal nightmare, slapping me with violation notices for everything from my lawn being a smidge too long to the unapproved bird feeder in my backyard. I positioned myself at the far end of the baggage carousel, praying she wouldn't notice me. No such luck. Well. Look who's back from gallivanting. Linda's voice cut through the terminal like a megaphone as she strutted toward me. I hope you've scheduled someone to fix that chip paint on your mailbox. The violation notice went out last week. I forced a tight smile. Hey, Linda. It's handled. Painter's coming Tuesday. She snorted, eyeing my comfy airport outfit, yoga pants, and a hoodie with blatant disgust. I hope you didn't parade around like that on your trip. It's an embarrassment to our community when residents travel looking so sloppy. I bit my tongue, clinging to my vacation zen. I wasn't about to let her ruin my homecoming. The baggage carousel hummed to life, and I silently begged for my suitcase to appear so I could bolt. Linda, unbothered by my silence, launched into a monologue. I just got back from a conference myself, a leadership summit for community governance. I gave a talk on preserving property values through rigorous aesthetic standards. Riveting, I muttered, my eyes glued to the luggage tumbling onto the belt. And then I saw me coral hardshell suitcase, a white stripe slicing down its center. I'd splurged on it for this trip, and it was unmistakable. Linda's gaze followed mine, and her smug expression morphed into something feral. That's I saw a suitcase, she declared, her voice jumping an octave. I laughed, thinking she was kidding. No way, that's mine. I bought it for this trip. Her face turned beet red. How dare saw you? You copied my luggage. You did this on purpose to trick people and steal my stuff. Heads turned. My zen was evaporating fast. Linda, I had no clue what your luggage looks like. This is mine, see the name tag. I pointed to the leather tag with my name, Emily Carter, in bold letters. You probably saw mine at the last HOA meeting and bought the same one. This is just like when you copied my rose trellis after snooping in my yard. Her voice hit a new pitch, drawing a crowd. Don't you lie to me. You're trying to sabotage me. The carousel kept turning, bringing my suitcase closer. I reached for it, desperate to end this madness, but Linda lunged, grabbing the other handle. That's all mine, saw, she shrieked. There we were, 2 grown women in a ridiculous tug-of-war over a suitcase while travelers backed away, forming a ring around us like we were in a boxing match. Linda, look at the tag. It's got my name, my stickers from Bali, Singapore. This is saw trip. I said, trying to stay calm. For a split second, she hesitated, glancing at the tag and the hotel stickers. I thought she might back off. I was dead wrong. Her face twisted with fury. You're lying. You switched the tags. No one in Pinecrest Meadows would dare mimic my signature style without my approval. With a strength I didn't know she had, she ripped the suitcase from my hands. What happened next felt like slow motion. Linda let out a primal scream, raised the suitcase, and hurled it across the terminal. It spun through the air, crashed into a concrete pillar, and exploded open. My clothes, souvenirs, and a fragile seashell necklace for my niece scattered across the floor. Gasps rippled through the crowd. That was supposed to be mine, saw. Linda bellowed, jabbing a finger at me. You stole my design. You're trying to impersonate me. People whipped out their phones, recording her meltdown. She ranted about intellectual property and how HOA bylaws somehow govern luggage choices. I dropped to my knees, scrambling to gather my things, my cheeks burning with humiliation. A kind woman knelt beside me, handing me the broken seashell necklace. "I'm so sorry," she whispered. "Ma'am, you need to calm down, saw." A stern voice cut in. Two airport security officers approached, hands on their radios. Linda tried to storm off, still ranting about my violation of community standards. I stood, clutching my ruined belongings. "She attacked my property," I told the officer, pointing to the wrecked suitcase. "She threw it because she thought it was hers." Linda spun around. "That's absurd. I was protecting my intellectual property." But her bravado faltered as she noticed the phones still filming. A young guy stepped forward, holding up his phone. "I got all on video. She went nuts over a suitcase that's clearly not hers. Check the tag, it's got Emily's name, not hers." The officers reviewed the footage, and I watched Linda's face shift from smug to panicked. She stammered, claiming it was a misunderstanding, that her conference had her stressed. "Ma'am, you're coming with us," an officer said, his tone vying no room for argument. "Destruction of property is serious, and we've got witnesses and video." Linda's jaw dropped. "Do you know who I am? I'm the president of the Pinecrest Meadows Homeowners Association. I uphold order and civility." The officer didn't blink. "You're at the airport now, and we uphold order here. You can explain it to the police." As they escorted her away, Linda shot me a glare so venomous I felt it in my bones. The airline staff swooped in, apologizing profusely. They helped me gather my things and handed me a replacement suitcase, promising compensation. As I gave him my info, I heard Linda's voice echoing from the security office, demanding to speak to a manager, then a supervisor, then the airport director. Half an hour later, as I headed for the exit, I saw Herlinda Harper in handcuffs, flanked by police officers. Her perfect bob was a mess, her face streaked with tears. She locked eyes with me, and if looks could kill, I'd be 6 feet under. That evening, after filing a police report and mourning my damaged souvenirs, the airline called. They'd found Linda's actual suitcase in a different flight, sitting in unclaimed baggage. It wasn't even coral. It was navy blue with silver trim. The fallout was brutal. Linda faced charges for destruction of property, disorderly conduct, and attempted theft. The video went viral in Pinecrest Meadows, shared by neighbors who'd endured their own Linda sagas. 2 days later, an emergency HOA meeting ousted her as president. The kicker? Her precious conference was about conflict resolution and fostering a positive community image. 3 weeks later, at her court hearing, Linda sat stone-faced as the judge hit her with due law $5,000 in fines, restitution for my property, 200 hours of community service, and 6 months of probation banning her from any leadership roles. She looked like she'd been slapped. Karma doesn't need a handbook. Sometimes it just needs a baggage carousel to deliver justice. I walked away with a new suitcase, a story to tell, and a neighborhood finally free of Linda's reign. But I can't help wondering how far would you go to defend what's yours? Was Linda's meltdown a one-off? Or do you think she's been terrorizing people for years? Should I press for harsher penalties? Or is public humiliation enough? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button if you're Team Karma, and subscribe for more wild stories. Let's get this debate rolling.